Is the ongoing conflict in Gaza a case of genocide? This question has ignited a firestorm of debate, with experts, politicians, and the public grappling with the weight of this term and its implications. But here's where it gets controversial. As the world watches the devastation in Gaza, a growing chorus of voices is labeling it a genocide, while Israel staunchly denies this accusation. And this is the part most people miss: the legal and moral complexities that make this issue far from black and white. As the UN General Assembly convenes, the plight of Gaza takes center stage, with experts urging action against what they describe as genocide and famine. Israel, however, vehemently rejects these claims, arguing its campaign is a response to the Hamas-led attack on October 7, 2023, which resulted in nearly 1,200 deaths and 250 hostages. The Israeli military's retaliation has led to over 64,000 Palestinian deaths, including 18,000 children, and the displacement of nearly 2 million residents, according to Gaza health authorities. The term genocide has seeped into public discourse, particularly among Democrats and independents in the U.S., while Republican views remain steadfast. To unravel this complex issue, NPR consulted historians, legal scholars, military analysts, and those directly affected by the conflict. The consensus? Proving genocide is legally challenging, especially when it comes to establishing genocidal intent. Genocide, a historical and legal perspective, coined in 1944 by Polish Jewish lawyer Raphael Lemkin. Genocide was born from the horrors of the Holocaust and the Ottoman attacks on Armenians. The UN Genocide Convention of 1948 defines it as acts committed with intent to destroy a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. This includes killing, causing bodily or mental harm, inflicting life-destroying conditions, preventing births, and forcibly transferring children. Both Israel and the U.S. have ratified this convention, yet the question remains, how does this apply to Gaza? The legal battlefield. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, handles disputes between countries, including genocide cases. The International Criminal Court prosecutes individuals for genocide, but its reach is limited, excluding countries like the U.S., Israel, Myanmar, and China. The UN Security Council can protect civilians, but its power is often paralyzed by vetoes from permanent members. Historical cases like Rwanda and Srebrenica set precedents. In Rwanda, the International Criminal Tribunal ruled the 1994 Tutsi killings as genocide. The ICJ found genocide in Srebrenica, but didn't hold Serbia directly responsible. The U.S. has recognized genocides against Armenians and Darfuris, and labeled ISIS's actions as such. Gaza, a textbook case or a complex conflict. Israeli-American scholar Segal called Gaza a textbook case of genocide, just days after the bombing began, citing Defense Minister Yoav Gallant's siege order. This led to the University of Minnesota rescinding its offer for him to lead the Center for Holocaust and Genocide Studies. Segal argues that denying war crimes, including genocide, justifies Israel's actions and shifts focus from Israeli violence to Palestinian barbarity. Legal actions and public opinion. In November 2023, a federal lawsuit accused the Biden administration of enabling genocide in Gaza. Palestinian-American author Laila Elhaddad, a plaintiff, felt a unique obligation to act as her taxes funded the killing of her family members. Despite a judge finding indications of genocide, the case was dismissed, citing U.S. foreign policy jurisdiction. Public opinion is shifting. Polls show a rise in Democrats and independents viewing Israel's actions as genocide. Cultural figures and politicians, like Senator Bernie Sanders, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Representative Slade, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have used the term. This shift is linked to increased awareness of Gaza's famine and destruction, particularly through social media. Arguments and counterpoints. Israel's defense rests on two claims: lack of genocidal intent and targeting legitimate military objectives. It argues South Africa's case is biased and based on comments taken out of context. Critics, however, point to statements by Israeli officials, like Prime Minister Netanyahu's reference to the biblical story of Amalek, historically used to justify killing Palestinians. Legal scholars debate the intent behind Israel's actions. Some argue that the siege's only reasonable inference is genocidal intent, while others claim it's a military objective. The destruction of over 70% of Gaza's buildings and tens of thousands of deaths, mainly civilians, raise questions about collateral damage, the human cost, and global impact. For Palestinians like Elhaddad, the debate is personal. Since the 2023 lawsuit, her family's death toll has risen to 200. The systematic erasure of her heritage is a stark reality. As more prominent figures label Israel's actions as genocide, she feels her story is finally recognized, though at a tragic cost. The war in Gaza has reshaped the discourse on genocide, challenging public understanding and legal interpretations. As the world grapples with this complex issue, one thing is clear: the human cost is immeasurable, and the quest for justice continues. But what do you think? Is the situation in Gaza a genocide, or is it a complex conflict with no easy answers? The debate rages on, and your voice matters.